in the area. Here to talk about the challenges of future hopes for Catholics in Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar, please welcome the Apostolic Vicar of Northern Arabia, Bishop Camillo Ballin. Excellency. أهلا وسهلا.
شكرا.
It's good to shukran. It's great to have you here. We want to welcome you. To understand a little bit about your work, you live in Bahrain, correct? When did you start to go to the Middle East? Were you just taken out of a parish in Italy and sent right over there? Or how did this happen?
I started immediately after my priestly ordination. So now I have been in the Arabic countries for 45 years. Mm-hmm. I started with Lebanon, Syria to learn Arabic. For 2 years I studied Arabic only, mm-hmm. without any other responsibility. Then I was sent to Egypt, where I was at 2 times for 24 years. Mm-hmm. I lived also 10 years in Sudan. Then I became Bishop of Kuwait. Then the Holy See extended the Vicariate of Kuwait, and they added Bahrain, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. And now it is not anymore Vicariate of Kuwait, it is Vicariate of Northern Arabia. Yes. So I am responsible of the northern part of the Arabic Peninsula. Another bishop is responsible of the southern part. Mm-hmm. So I am entrusted with Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia.
And you belong to a community of missionaries, correct?
Yeah. I am a Comboni missionary. Mm-hmm. I am Italian of origin, and the Comboni missionaries are known also in the United States.
Yes.
And our missions are especially in Africa, but after that it was extended to Latin America, to China, and now through me also to the Gulf, okay. which was not our initial mission. Mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, a number of my Jesuit brothers worked in Sudan and came in contact with Camboni fathers there. And they also now send a lot of Camboni seminarians and students to the Jesuit University where I used to teach in Chicago, Loyola University. And we maintain a very affectionate relationship with the Camboni fathers. It's great work that they've been doing in this region. And you specifically being in the Arabic-speaking world. The 4 years just to learn Arabic, it's a difficult language. It's, I think our State Department says that it's the second most difficult after Chinese. They put Chinese first, then Arabic, and then Polish. Those are the 3 most complicated languages.
But I asked to go to the Arabic countries. In my time, they started to ask, what are your priorities? And they gave 3 possibilities in descending order. Huh? Mm-hmm. So first one, I wrote Arabic countries. Second one, Arabic countries. Third one, Arabic countries. So I said, you wanted to know what I want. I want this. If you want to change, change. But of course, they didn't change because there was a big need of missionaries sure. in the Arabic countries. Sure. And nobody opts for Arabic countries, or very few. Huh?
See, this is, there are a lot of priests who are very obedient, but they know how to make sure the superior knows what they want. Now, the community of Catholics in the Gulf states is itself very international. What would be some of the main groups of people among the Catholics who live in your region?
Well, in my region, all the Catholics are migrants, workers coming especially from Asia. So we have a big number of Indians and also a big number of Filipinos. These are the two biggest numbers. Then we have Sri Lankans, Bengalis, Pakistanis, and from Arabic countries, also some from Europe, but those who come from Europe are not workers like the Asians. They are in general managers of companies, of projects, so they are there for the time of a project, to direct a project, so it is another kind of people.
Yeah, and oftentimes the people who worked there were themselves fairly poor. They come, they work, and they stay for quite a number of years.
Yeah, they stay for 5, 10, 20, 30 years. The problem is also that many of them come without the family, because to bring the family with them, they have to have a certain level of salary. For example, in Kuwait, they should have 400,000 KD per month, which is around $1,500 per month. If their salary is less than that, they cannot bring the family. And this rule is common in all the countries of the Gulf. So we have a big group of a big percentage of people who are alone. They left behind them their family, friends, relatives. They are alone. And they find in God the person who is always there to console them, to help them, to be with them. So we have also a big percentage of church goers, around 30-35%. Our churches, our few churches, very few churches, are packed. But we are very happy when we see packed churches.
Yes.
But we have to think also that the 70% are outside, or 65% are outside. So how to reach these people who are outside, who don't come? So it is a pastoral work which is not easy, also because many of them have a timetable of work which is very, very difficult. They cannot come to the church.
Yeah, for instance, in many of these countries, Sunday is not the day of rest.
No, it is a working day.
Yeah. And on Friday is the day of prayer, with maybe some rest, but it's the day of prayer for Muslims, and not Sunday at all.
Well, in the Gulf, we celebrate on Friday, also on Friday, the liturgy of Sunday.
I see.
So on Friday we have many masses, meetings. The activities are done especially on Friday. Then we have masses on Saturday evening, liturgy of Sunday, and on Sunday also, but afternoon. So after the working time.
Yes.
People come very many also on Sunday afternoon, evening. Sometimes we have a mass at 10 o'clock evening, 10:30 evening.
Yeah, well,
especially in some places.
Well, by that time, 10 o'clock at night, the air has cooled down in the summer to maybe only about 100 degrees or so. Because it can be pretty hot in your region, to be sure.
In summer we have between 45 and 55.
So this would be about, for those who use Fahrenheit, about 130 even to 140 degrees above zero. So that's hot. That's hot. So you have this community. You've adapted, as you can to this, but you still need more churches. Are you permitted to build more churches?
Well, it depends on the country. I have 4 countries, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is forbidden because
There are no churches.
no churches, and it is impossible to build the churches because they consider all Saudi Arabia as a big mosque. And they say we cannot build a church inside a mosque. So this is their thought. In Qatar, the government gave land to the churches. In Kuwait, we are asking, and we shall obtain, inshallah.
Yes, God willing.
God willing. In Bahrain, we had the first church of a northern part of the Arabic Peninsula, built on 1939. It was a church of a capacity of 100 people. Today we have 140,000 Catholics. So this church of 100 people is small.
Yes.
Bishops before me, they built another hall, bigger hall, of 600, 700 people, but also it is too small. So I asked His Majesty the King of Bahrain to give us another land, because for the number of our faithful, we need another church. We need another land. And I asked in the south of the country. And His Majesty gave us the land on 11th of February 2013. 2013. So you know that 11th of February is the feast of Our Lady of Lourdes.
Yes.
We, in the Gulf, we venerate the Virgin Mary as Our Lady of Arabia, to whom the Gulf is dedicated, consecrated. So Our Lady of Lourdes and Our Lady of Arabia are two sisters. And they speak to each other very often. So Our Lady of Arabia said to Our Lady of Lourdes to give us the land, and she gave.
There you go. Well, this is, and in fact, the Blessed Virgin Mary is well respected in the Quran.
Yeah.
That she is spoken of with great respect
In fact,
for her purity.
When I went to the king to thank him for the land, he was very happy when I told him this church will be dedicated to Our Lady of Arabia. So we are in need of a church there. And since the bishop now is based in Bahrain, this church will be the cathedral.
Okay.
But we are in need of another church.
Yes, yes. So this is an important kind of process as you make places for people to come. They obviously want to. Yeah. They obviously are interested, and there's a great need socially. Now, you mentioned that a lot of them are alone. Do many of them begin to fall in love and get married when they're in there, or is that not permitted? These folks, for instance, many of the people who come as workers into Arabia, do they fall in love and marry when they're living there for a number of years? When they form their own families?
Well, it is a difficult life, and we can to help them, to accompany them through groups, through associations, so they can find new friends, a new community. Because when somebody is alone, he becomes unbalanced.
Yes.
From all the aspects of his life.
Yes.
But when he finds a community, a group of people taking care of him, of her, of them, they are very much helped. I remember one year, one of the first years, after the midnight mass of Christmas, so-called midnight mass, I wanted to go to greet Merry Christmas, especially to those who are alone in the church, in my parish, in the parishes. I could not, because they were all busy with their mobile, to greet a happy Merry Christmas to their family back home.
Sure, sure.
So it was a very important moment for them to be united with their family at Christmas.
Sure, sure. Maybe I can ask in Arabic. ممكن يتزوج رجل مرة في الكويت ولا بحرين؟
We discourage.
Oh, you discourage. Okay,
We
so
discourage.
you don't encourage people to get married there, but maybe when they finish their work and they return to their
If
native.
they find somebody, if they are not married in the church, if not married, and they find there a person for their life, but from their country,
Yes.
from their language, okay,
Yes.
no problem. But we don't encourage marriages with the local people.
Yes. Yeah, that would be more difficult
Too
religiously.
big a difference of tradition, mentality,
Sure.
and many things.
Sure, sure. And, one of the other questions is the importance of teaching the faith, teaching the catechism. Is much of that going on? Do they have the opportunity to learn more about their Catholic faith?
Yes, we have thousands of children in catechism. We have many associations which meet every week, groups and so on. For example, our problem is not to push the people to participate to something. It is to break the people because they are so thirsty of meetings, of being together, of receiving information that for us it is not the problem. Our problem is to find a place, to find a time, to find a space for every group which wants to gather for formation, for prayer, for discussions, for anything. Because our place is limited, and when you have thousands of people, how to give them place, how to give them time. For example, on Friday, we start at 7:30 morning until 10:30 evening. There is no 1 minute where the house, the courtyard, the church, the halls are free. There is not.
So what you're describing then is not just a place where people come to go to Mass and confession, but a very vibrant, active community that is trying to support itself as most of these people from other countries, learn to live their Christianity while they're working in this Muslim country.
And we have there 13, 14 languages. We celebrate, for example, in Kuwait, 13 languages.
The Mass.
Mass.
Wow.
Friday and or on Sunday. And on 5 rites. Rite is a community of faithful, Catholic faithful, who have their own way of expression of their faith, their own liturgy, their own discipline, their own specific theology. They stress some points of the Catholic theology. And they are called sui juris churches.
That they have their own law.
Their own law, their own discipline. And I am in charge, by the decision of the Pope, of all the Catholics, to whatever rite they belong to. And this is our challenge, how to form with all these people, different languages, different rites, different nationalities, how to form one Catholic Church, and not many Catholic churches beside each other. Not many Catholic churches in the same place, but one Catholic Church with the respect of the rite, of the liturgy of everyone.
Now, what would be the 5 rites that are present in your
the
vicariate?
Latin rite.
Okay, that'd be, and you're Latin rite yourself.
The biggest majority, more than 80%, I can say almost 90% are Latins.
Okay.
Then we have the Syro-Malabar rite,
which is from?
From India.
Okay.
The Syro-Malankara rite, also from India. Then the Maronite rite, originally from Lebanon. And the Coptic rite from Egypt.
Okay.
So all these rites celebrate the liturgical year completely, all the liturgical year. Not only Christmas or Easter, but every Sunday, every feast, they celebrate according to their liturgy,
Yes.
to their traditions, as much as possible. Because when we have one church for 13 languages, 5 rites, it is a puzzle. Eh?
Yes, yeah, no doubt, no doubt. You know, having celebrated a number of those liturgies myself, and knowing that they're quite distinct, you know, so that's it's an added challenge. Now, what about clergy? Are there many clergy coming from your own territory, or are they primarily missionaries?
They are all from outside.
All from outside.
Yeah. The majority is from India.
Okay.
Then we have 7 Filipino priests. We have 7 Arabic priests. And then from Sri Lanka, and all the others are Indians. We have 50 priests, around 50 priests, 2 permanent deacons. And we have to try to respond to all the needs with the priests that whom we have.
Sure. So so you've got a church that itself is heavily dependent on outside sources.
Yeah. For the priests, of course. Eh? So all the Gulf
And the congregation.
yeah, the Gulf has been entrusted to the Capuchin religious friars. So the Capuchin order has the duty to provide the personnel which is needed in our vicariates.
Okay.
And they provide,
Yeah.
especially from India.
See, I think a lot of folks are unaware that if they go to Kuwait or Bahrain or Qatar, that they could go to Mass. You know, that there are churches available and that they can go and participate
Yes.
in Mass if they
Yes.
come. May not be English. Are there any English Masses?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
In English, in 13 languages.
Sure. So they could go to
Yeah.
Mass.
Yeah.
And
We have completely freedom of worship inside the compound of the churches.
okay.
Outside, no.
Okay.
We cannot make processions in the streets. Eh?
Right.
But inside the compound of the churches, we have completely freedom of worship.
Okay.
We are respected. Never the government interferes, never the police interferes. We are completely respected in our worship inside the compound of the church.
Now let me ask you this: would there be antagonism from the regular folks who live in the area, or are they just live and let live?
Antagonism among the Catholics?
Yeah, no. From the local people, from the community, the people who live in Bahrain, the Bahraini people or the Kuwaiti people, are they antagonistic toward the Catholics? Or?
In general, no. No.
Yeah.
We live quite in peace with each other. Of course, anyone has his own mentality, religion, faith, tradition, so on. But there are no clashes between Christians, these migrants, and the local people.
Yeah. Everybody goes about their business, lives their life, and that's it. Okay. Well, this is something that again is very not very well known. So what we'll do is we're going to take a little break, and we'd like to give folks a chance to be able to ask you some questions about life over there. And we'd also we'll give you some more information later on if some of you feel moved to help with the support of this new cathedral. That would be a good thing as well. But we'll come back with your questions and your comments in just a couple of minutes, so please stay with us. Thank you very much. And first of all, we want to invite all of you to come over here and visit us. We have a wonderful group of folks, mostly from Port St. Lucie, Florida, and a number of other places like Indiana and Ohio and Michigan. And we'd love to have you come and join us as well. If you can, please contact our pilgrimage department. You can easily get a hold of them by calling them or by going to our website, ewtn.com. The number for the pilgrimage department is 205-271-2966. And they will give you information about scheduling of masses, programs that you can be in, and as guests in our audience, and information on how to get up to Hansville and so on. So please join us. And we were mentioning that if anybody is interested in helping, because the building of your cathedral is a big project. The government is very generous. God bless the King for letting you build, but also he's not giving you the money to do the building. So that's where outside support will be useful. I can write to Aid to the Church in Need. Is that right?
Our people are generous, and they are helping for this cathedral, but they are workers.
Yes.
And they cannot face a big project like that.
Right.
So we need to rely on helps outside.
Sure.
And the Pontifical Association Aid to the Church in Need is helping us very much.
Good.
And I am grateful to them.
Yes, and their phone number is 718. Is that correct? Or no. Let's see. Yeah, 718-609-0939. So 718-609-0939. Or you can also go to churchinneed.org, and they'll give you information on how you can help out, and they'll get the money to the Vicariate of Our Lady of Arabia. All right.
I wanted to add that I think in America, like over all the world, there are many women who are called Mary.
Yes.
So I ask every woman, girl, every lady whose name is Mary to offer $10 for the Church of Our Lady of Arabia.
All right.
And Our Lady of Arabia will protect her very much because she collaborated with the $10. She collaborated for the building of her house, the house of Our Lady of Arabia.
All right.
So I invite every lady, girl, who is called Mary, to offer $10 for the church of Our Lady of Arabia.
Now, see, this makes me glad that there is no St. Mitchell. All right, let's start off with a question here from our studio audience. Ma'am, where are you from?
I'm from Port St. Lucie, Florida.
All right, good to have you. And your question is?
I was wondering if you could tell me, do the women play an active role in the church as we do here?
Yes, the women are present. They are Eucharistic ministers. They are members in our parish councils. They are leaders of groups, of associations. They are active.
And if their name is Mary, then they're very generous. All right, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, so they are very active. That's good. All right, and we have a phone call. Hello, Diane.
Yes, hello.
Hi, where are you from?
I'm from Traverse City, Michigan.
Ooh, way up there. It must be cold today.
Well, it is. I'm actually out of town right now, but that's my home state. So,
All right, and your question?
my question is, I wonder if you could reiterate on the language that is used when you're working with people from so many other countries that are there as workers. How is the Mass said? Do you use Latin, or do you use a dialect that is common for each ethnic group of individuals? I wondered if you could explain that so that everybody is sort of understanding the faith within their own language.
All right, so Excellency, you are living your own Pentecost with all these different languages. Do you have one language for the Mass or multiple languages?
We have many languages. Mass is celebrated in 13 languages. So we have 13 different Masses, not one Mass with many languages, but every language, one Mass.
Okay.
But we started recently to introduce or to reintroduce songs in Latin because it is the language which unites all.
Yes.
So
that way everybody can misunderstand together.
But we project Latin and English together.
Okay.
Because the people should understand what they sing.
Yes, yes.
So I saw in our parishes the people participate very well. Singing in Latin, they read at the wall, at the screen, and they sing very well, happy.
And that would be, what would be good for the 80-90% who are Latin right. But of course, for the other rights, Latin is not their language at all.
No, in their language.
Yeah. They do it in Coptic or
Coptic is in Arabic.
Syriac.
Coptic is in Arabic. Maronite is Arabic or Syriac. Malabar and Malankara is in Malayalam.
Chaldean.
In Malayalam. No, of course. Latin is only for the Latin rite.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Good. Well,
we don't impose.
No. But it is really a Pentecost.
Yeah.
That you have a great diversity. Sir, where are you from?
Originally from Fargo, North Dakota, studying in Detroit, Michigan.
Are you? Great. What are you studying?
Studying for the priesthood.
Good for you. That's a great seminary there. And they'll be looking forward to you coming back. Fargo and North Dakota are really booming, so they'll need priests. So what is your question?
I know that the American military often has soldiers stationed in the Saudi Arabian Peninsula. I was wondering what kind of programs you have available for them if they want to continue living their faith out there.
Well, we don't have programs for them because they have their own chaplain, Catholic chaplain. And the chaplain doesn't depend on me. It depends on the military bishop of the military ordinary. So they have their own programs inside the camps. But I visited almost all the camps. and as friend.
Sure.
And I had a meeting with the soldiers, masses. I remember when I was in Kuwait the first years, I met in a camp an American young man, Austin Quick, who is now in the seminary.
Yeah.
He was there as soldier. He was gathering the soldiers, preparing the soldiers, the Catholics, for mass, for meetings. It was very well,
Yeah.
very good. After his service, he entered the seminary. Now he's becoming priest,
Yeah.
for example, one.
Yeah.
And others who are very active in their camp, but they are under the organization of their chaplain.
Yes. Yeah, because the military has its own archdiocese with a number of auxiliary bishops around the world and in the various services. So that's which is a great blessing for us. We have another phone call. Hello, John.
Hello, Father Mitch.
John is from Ohio. He's called
Yes.
before. And John, what is your question?
Well, it's kind of a dual question. I was wondering about, is there any ecumenical dialogue between Muslim and Catholic leaders? And then we have the idea of a new evangelization, and I know things can be strict over there, but I was wondering if there's any effort toward any kind of evangelization, or is that forbidden by law?
Yeah, ecumenical dialogue is among Christians, Catholics, Protestants, Orthodox. There are meetings for that. This is ecumenical dialogue. A dialogue between Christians and the Muslims is called interreligious dialogue. This is done especially in a practical way by our faithful. Every day they are with the Muslims, with the Hindus, and their behavior is already a dialogue, their behavior. From our part, there are some meetings of interreligious dialogue, but we wanted to avoid that it be understood as a way to convert, for conversion. We don't expect any conversion. We don't provoke any conversion. We are there for doing good to all the people. As Jesus Christ was passing, giving good to all the people, making good to all the people. So our purpose is not to convert. In the 45 years that I have been in the Arabic countries, never I had a conversion, not even one. And I am not expecting one conversion. But I am happy that as much as possible, in spite of my limitations, I could do good for all the people I met in my life.
And, you know, even within the Northern Arabia, the Muslim community is itself mostly Sunni, but in some countries, a large number of Shia Muslims as well. So, we, the Christians, must keep a good relationship with the various communities, among the Muslims as well.
We don't make any difference for us between Sunnites, Shiites, Hindus, or any other. We say that we are for all. We want to love all. We want to respect all. And we want that the human rights be for all. Then these discussions between Sunnites and the Shiites, this depends on them.
Yes.
But there are no problems in general between the Muslims and the Christians. We live peacefully, at least in the Gulf.
Yes. Yes.
At least in, perhaps not in all the countries of the Gulf, but in general, we live peacefully.
Yes. And we have another question from our studio audience. Sir, where are you from?
Port St. Lucie, Florida.
But you weren't born there.
No, I wasn't.
From New York?
New York. I wasn't born in New York, but I lived most of my life in New York.
There you go. So what's your question?
I would like to know, what is do they have nuns in your region, and what role do they play? Do they have maybe schools?
Yeah. There are schools, 3 schools in my vicariate, which are run by religious sisters. Another school run by Salesian but priests. And they are there, they run their school. These schools are not for the Catholics only. These are schools for all. And through our schools, we can form even the Muslims to a more open vision of the reality. So the dialogue with the Muslims will be is easier when we meet the Muslims who were in our schools. Of course, they remain Muslims. Never we try through school to convert them, never. It is not our purpose at all. But the formation we give in our schools open their mind, open their experience, and we have more balanced people in their relationships with the others.
And it's something that is true throughout the Middle East. There are Christian schools, some Protestant, mostly Catholic, that have taught Muslims, Christians, Catholic and non-Catholic alike, and they are very important roles of having good relations among the different communities. I've seen this in Jordan, Palestine, Israel, and it's very common. Egypt even, until recently. But this is something that is part of the service that Christians offer us, the kind of schools that we do.
Yeah, unlike the Orthodox Church, the Catholic Church kept the schools. And these are very important for the education of our children.
Yes.
For the preparation, the formation of the new generations. The Orthodox churches and the Protestant churches don't have schools. And this is their choice. And
all right, we have another phone call. Hello, Jeanette.
Hello, Father Pagua.
Hi, where are you from?
I'm from New York. Thank you for taking my call.
My pleasure.
Good night, Bishop. And the question is, what is an apostolic vicar? And as an apostolic vicar, what are your functions? Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. So, what do you do for a living?
we have a vicariate or a diocese or archdiocese, no? Diocese is when there are local priests, there is a seminary to ensure the future for the priests. When there is an area where there are no local Catholics, there are no local priests, but there are Catholics coming from outside, as in the Gulf. There are almost no local Christians, no local priests, but there are millions of Catholics present in the Gulf. So in this case, the Holy See says this is a vicariate, which means that the true bishop of the vicariate is the Pope. I'm apostolic vicar, means the vicar of the Apostle Peter, so vicar of the Pope. The true bishop of my vicariate is the Pope. I am his vicar. Like in Rome, Cardinal Ballin is the vicar of the Pope for Rome. But the Pope is the bishop of Rome, not the Cardinal Ballin. They say, my vicariate, I am in charge of this area in the name of the Pope. But in principle, the true bishop is the Pope.
Now, how often do you meet with him?
I met 2-3 times Pope Benedict.
Okay.
I met already one time in private audience Pope Francis. All the meetings were fantastic.
Good.
The popes, both the popes, understood very, very well our situation, our problems, and they always encouraged us, and they were very, very, very good meetings.
See, there are a lot of people that would like a job where they see their boss only once or twice a year. We have another phone call. Hello, Chris.
Yes, hello, Father.
Hi, where are you from?
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland.
Great town. I love it. Good crab. And, and what's your question?
Thank you. First, I want to express such a strong gratitude for Bishop Ballin's visit here. It's so beautiful that he's here. I have quickly, I would like to find an Arabic translation of the Catholic Bible and the Catholic Catechism. And living in America, I don't know where to start. Are there any suggestions where I might be able to find those?
Yeah. The Bible has many translations into Arabic. And also the Catechism of the Catholic Church has been translated into Arabic in Lebanon.
Yes, right.
So it is easy to find them through, I think this person who spoke is an Arabic of origin, is Arabic of origin. Through her bishop, through her church, she can find in Lebanon Bibles in Arabic, the Catechism of the Catholic Church in Arabic.
As a matter of fact, what you may want to do is contact the Eparchy of St. Maron in Brooklyn, New York. And that eparchy is where the one in which you live. It's the Maronite eparchy. And they have good contacts with the books from Lebanon in Arabic and, of course, English, but they can get the Arabic materials or direct you where the publisher in Lebanon, which is probably Kaslik University where they publish it. And that would be the place to check. So go on the internet, look up the Eparchy of St. Maron of Brooklyn for the Maronites, and you'll be able to find some information on that. That'd be a good source. I have another call. Hello, Shirley?
Yes. Hello, Father Papa.
Hi, where are you from?
I am from Corona, California.
Great, good to have you calling. And your question?
Okay. My question is, why don't I see any ashes on you today? And Bishop threw this, and he doesn't have ashes, and I was so surprised.
Oh, I'm not hearing you very clearly. There's a problem with your phone. Could you repeat the question?
Okay.
Oh, there you
I
are.
was wondering why you and the bishop don't have any ashes today.
Oh, why? Why don't we have ashes? I've got my explanation. What is your reason?
My explanation is that in the Missal, it is written the ashes are put on the head,
Right,
not on the forehead.
right.
So since I still have some hairs, ashes are covered by the hairs.
See, the tradition is that priests and bishops, get their ashes on the tonsure up here. Whereas my excuse is different. Because I'm by ritual in the Maronite rite, we started Lent on Sunday. And the first day of fasting was Monday, which is Ash Monday. Now, some people asked, why, do you start on Monday? Well, perhaps, I don't know. In our tradition, perhaps the Maronites just need to do more repenting. Certainly, nobody in my community disagrees that applies to me. So we just start off the prayer and fasting a couple days ahead of the Latin rite. No rush. Get there ahead of time for everybody
Once
else.
I saw the putting of ashes on John Paul II, and the priest or the bishop put the ashes on his head
Yes.
to the Pope.
Yes.
So I think it is valid, no?
Oh yeah, that's correct. It's supposed to be. Now again, so you're you have just a couple more minutes. So you're building this new cathedral, and you know that Our Lady of Arabia will be the name of the cathedral.
Yeah.
And the King of Bahrain was pleased with this name.
Yeah, he was very happy with this name. When I met him, there were also some ministers, among them a lady minister. She said, "Your Majesty, you see how happy we are that the cathedral will be dedicated to Our Lady of Arabia." And the king has been so kind that not even he gave us the land, but he gave me also the passport of Bahrain. This is my passport of Bahrain. So I am Bahraini. This allows me to circulate in my vicariate very easily.
Oh, yes, good.
Because it is so I thank him very much, and a big help for us, for the church.
So it's, you know, he's actually making it very easy for you to do your ministry and serve the people, because they are in, you know, different countries. You can get into all 4 countries with a Bahraini passport more easily than with an Italian passport.
Yeah, Italian passport can go almost to all the countries, not to all.
Right.
But in some countries, as Italian, it is very difficult.
Yes, but as a Bahraini,
Bahraini,
ahlan wa sahlan.
ahlan wa sahlan. You are most welcome.
You're most welcome.